Every SharePoint site has tools to help you work in the site, to help you navigate within the site. Let's take a look at how we work inside of this out-of-the-box standard SharePoint site. First, on the left-hand side, we have an area that's called the Quick Launch. Home, Documents, Recent, Site Contents, and so on. At the bottom is an Edit Links button, and that is because I have a lot of permissions on this site. You may not have the ability to edit links, and if you don't, that's just fine. This area is also called Left Navigation or Site Navigation, but it's typically called Quick Launch because in earlier versions of SharePoint, the words Quick Launch were actually emblazoned on that area. The Quick Launch lists features of this site, features within Team Landon SF. At the top, we have what's called Top Navigation, and the only thing on it right now is Team Landon SF. This navigation is typically used to navigate between the sites within a collection of sites. So as we add new sites to Team Landon SF in this course, we'll have links to go to those sites on our top navigation. Occasionally, the Quick Launch appears at the top, and normally if that's the case, there are 2 layers of top navigation, and it's to create a little more side-to-side space within the site. However, Quick Launch to work within the site, top navigation to move from site to site. From our SharePoint team site, we can access other applications, other features that are available to us. The tool we'll use to do that comes to us from Office 365 and premiered there first, then moved to SharePoint Online, then to SharePoint Server 2016. It's called an app launcher. It's in the upper left-hand corner, and that's its formal name, but a lot of people simply call it the waffle. And if you click the waffle, you'll see all kinds of applications that are available to you. You may not have the ability to view all your apps or to get App Launcher help from here. That depends on what products you are running in addition to SharePoint. But notice that I have access to my mail, to my calendar, to people. So these are functions of Outlook Online. Yammer, my news feed within SharePoint, OneDrive, part of SharePoint, and Sites, also part of SharePoint. But I have other items available to me as well. If you are using, for example, SharePoint Server and you're not in a hybrid environment, you won't have access to Delve. And if you haven't installed Power BI, you won't have that. And if you're not an administrator for some of the servers in your organization, you won't have access to admin. However, you may have different apps listed here because this app launcher is extensible. Your organization can build custom SharePoint apps and add them to this list. Don't be surprised, therefore, if you log in one day and go to SharePoint, open the waffle, and you have different choices available to you. Between applications, I'm going to use the app launcher or the waffle. Normally when I go to a site, I'm in what's called browse mode. You'll notice that I have a ribbon with 2 tabs on it. Browse is exactly what this is. I can browse around on my site. If I click the Page tab, I'll have access to tools that would allow me to edit this page, provided I have the permission to do so. On the right-hand side of my screen, I have the ability to share the entire site, to follow this site, which will add it to my list of sites accessible from the waffle. This is a way that I say this is a site I want to come back to over and over again, and also provide some transparency into the documents saved in this site. Because I have a lot of permissions, I can edit this page, and if I wish, I can hide the navigation aids and see my site full screen. That button is called Focus on Content and gives me lots of space. Then I can click again to return to my navigation. Above this toolbar, I have a settings menu that looks like a gear that allows me to access my personal settings. I have a help button. I have an alerts or notifications button that lets me know if there's anything new. And finally, I have the ability to find out information about me, view my account, or sign out. If I'm using SharePoint on a public computer, it's a really good idea to sign out when I leave SharePoint. Now let's look at this page of the site. This page is composed of what are called web parts or app parts. At the top, I have the ability to quickly customize my site by sharing it, by adding some parts, by changing its style, by branding it. Below that, I have a newsfeed that's used for social networking. And to the right, I have an app part that's displaying a document library that has 3 documents in it. I can search by clicking in the search box where it says search this site. Let's say I'm looking for a file that has logo in it or logo in its name. There's my Landon logo and some information about it here on the left. If I enter Landon and either press enter or click the magnifying glass, I'll have many more choices. Information out of the planning letter, and notice as I point to each of these items, I'm getting a preview. There's the entire site, information in the microfeed, logo information, and so on. When I search on the left, there's something called a refiner. So if I know, for example, that I'm looking for a Word document, I can click Word and filter it. If I know that I'm looking for a document I created, I can click my name here. Or if I know when it was modified, I can choose a specific point in time, a month ago. I can simply click the top navigation to return to my Team Landon SF page, the home page here for my site. When I only have a few items in a library, it's easier to browse. When I want to search my entire site, including documents, the search box becomes very useful. In SharePoint Online, I have the ability to search everything, to search the site, conversations, and people, so I can even be more granular in my search.